Hi, it's Cat of Sweet Cat Magic. I'd just like to talk about YouTube a little bit and what's been going on for me. As far as comments, I'm noticing a lot more people are noticing it too, that you cannot always reply to comments, and it can be very, very frustrating. This has been going on, I thought it was 2 weeks, but I realized it's been going on for about a month for me, where you can go ahead and post a comment on somebody, you make a reply, and then the next comment you try to make a reply to and it won't do it. And it would show up on certain people, but now I notice it just shows up randomly. And so it's very, very frustrating to try to reply and not be able to. And I've also had an experience recently of someone having an expectation, which is one of the reasons I made the expectation video, that they were very hurt or upset or angry. I don't know how it was that that I hadn't responded to an email. It wasn't a comment, it was an email. We had shared several emails back and forth. I had emailed to thank her for something, and she emailed back, and then I emailed her back for that, and then she emailed me again, and I kind of thought, well, she was responding to my email, so I hadn't really thought that I was supposed to do another response, because but I did find out from her that she was very, she didn't say hurt, but that I wasn't a sweet person, I was a fake, that we were now in a cat fight or something, and that she would never ever forget it, and that, so I sent her an email and said, I was not intentional. I've always thought of you as a special person. I'm sorry if it hurt you. If this is what you truly believe, then I think we just need to go our separate ways and that. But it gave me pause to really think about that, and how expectations, a person can go along and do just their own thing without ever intending to hurt someone. It doesn't mean that you don't. I just think you need to take responsibility for it when you do, even if it wasn't intentional. And I said, I'm sorry. What was kind of amazing to me is how easily this person went to what I call a side that I am surprised at. But that's her choice, not mine. And I will only send her love, and I have only sent her love, and she can either believe that or not. The way I prefer to operate is I keep my slate clean. I keep my karma clean. Anything that comes to me in a negative way, I don't mirror back and send and triple back to them whatever they sent to me. I transmute whatever they send to me, and I send them back love. And that is what I will do, and hopefully continue to do. I have a video called Prisoners 3, The Answer, and I had made that about 10 days ago or something. Whenever I made the Prisoner Part 2, I made the answer. And where I said in that you never know what you're going to actually do until you're really tested. You may have expectations as to what you're going to do, which we can have of ourselves. And so I was just kind of, I was pleased with myself that I did not respond in anger or retaliation or or something for what I got and that. I worked with a woman when we had a little kind of a witch shop, and when anybody ever did her wrong or what she thought was wrong, the first thing she always said is, I'm going to put voodoo on their ass. And I never have ever felt like that is a solution to anything. Witch wars have never been what I consider a possibility. I don't play in witch wars, and I won't play in witch wars. it was very interesting. I went on Second Life for a while, which is fun. Have you ever been on Second Life? It's a whole virtual world that's all into itself. And they have these wonderful places that you can create your avatar. And I had this wonderful avatar that I had created, and it was a fairy, and it was in a gorgeous dress with long blonde hair. And they have a wonderful place called Fairyland there, where everything is supposed to be loving and kind and sweet. And no pushing, they call it. No pushing in Second Life, meaning that you don't do anything mean to another avatar. So I'm over in Fairyland in a sandbox, and I just discovered that there are fairy dances. And I've been on Second Life for, just a very short time, a couple of times. And so I'm just learning my little ropes. And I go, oh, you can dance in Second Life? How cool. So I had all these little fairy dances. And I'll see if I can find any, maybe put them on the end of the video so you can see what I'm talking about, if you've not been acquainted with it. And so I'm practicing these fairy dances. I'm going up and flying and coming down, and all of a sudden I'm just frozen, and all this ice comes over me, and I can't move, and everything is frozen, and I cannot figure out what is going on. Because I'm over in the sandbox all by myself over in a tiny corner, in a corner that's, just doing my fairy dance. And so this woman, I kind of look around to see what other avatars are around, and there's one that I kind of recognize because she was also from Hawaii, and we had talked several times, and she knew that I ran a cat sanctuary, and we would talk because we'd be on at the same time. And so I said to her if she knew what happened, why I got frozen and why I'm all covered with snow. And so she's over with this other woman. And she says, oh, the woman said that she just froze you because she's a witch and she thinks you sent her a bomb. And I go, a bomb? How can I what's a bomb? And I go, I have no clue what you're talking about. I mean, I'm just learning to fairy dance here. How could I send her a bomb? And so anyway, so then the woman who comes on, she goes, I froze you because you sent me a bomb. And I said, I'm sorry, I did not send a bomb. I'm just I've only been on here, I'm just learning how to change my clothes. And I just learned that I can fairy dance. How can I, what would it be? So then and she says, well, I'm a witch and I know everything. And I know you sent a bomb to me. And I thought, gee, I'm a witch too. But she must not be a very in-tune witch because she's making all this stuff up because none of it's true. And so then the other person who was another avatar, the one from Hawaii, she said, no, I can vouch for her. She's a very kind person. She rescues cats and all that. So then this woman, she said, well, I will forgive you. And I was going, in my thing like, oh, she doesn't have to forgive me because I haven't done anything. Then what she does is she says, you have to be very, very careful in here. There's people always trying to hurt you. And there's people always sending you stuff. So I'm going to send you each a whole bunch of weapons that you can use on people. And so I thought, in order not to tick her off, I go, oh, okay. And then she sent me the weapons, and I deleted them all. But I looked at the arsenal that she had sent me. There were icebergs and grenades and bombs and all these different things. And I thought, why would a person come into Fairyland where all of that is banned? This was a sweet spot. And take over and would freeze newbies. And I thought she was trying to get control and have people be afraid of her. It's just very interesting sometimes with people who claim to be witches, because if they're truly witches, they know the law of three. And I totally go by the law of three, that what you send back comes back 3 times. So I just let the law of 3 handle that. I don't have to get involved in witch wars, and I won't get involved with witch wars. I'll just quietly bless them and leave, which is what I did. and which is what I'll continue to do. But because of that expectation and the hurt or anger and what's resulted as a result of that, results of the result of that, is that I am now going to, and I debated. I thought I'm going to turn off all the ability to comment, because with not being able to reply, people are going to, I might encounter another person like this that might get hurt and angry and send me virtual bombs or whatever it is. And I thought, so I was really thinking about doing that. And then I woke up this morning and I had such beautiful comments from people that I thought, if I eliminate the comments and say you can't make any comments, that means I eliminate all the interaction with all these other wonderful people, because I had one bad interaction, and I'm not going to go that way. I'm not going to let that happen. You don't throw out all the good because you get 1 or 2 or 3. You go with what you want, and I thought, I'm still going to make videos, but I'm also going to put a little disclaimer on the beginning of it that says that I'm not always able, low battery, I'm not always able to reply to comments. It is not my intent to hurt anybody that I don't. I somehow find it very amazing that anybody would be hurt by not hearing from me. I never realized I had that kind of power. I don't want that kind of power. But I'm going to put that little disclaimer on that. Sometimes I always make an attempt to make a comment, and some people will know I've made big tries. I made video responses on comments because I couldn't post. But if you're a person that may feel hurt that I didn't respond, please, 1, don't give me that kind of power. 2, don't leave a comment then. But other than that, I would love to hear from you, and I hope you continue watching my videos. But just understand, it is never my intent to do harm. Blessed be.